Alright, welcome back to the SuperCoach Nuff channel. In this video we're going to have a look at SuperCoach after the two Las Vegas games. So as you can see from the front page here, I'm currently sitting on 113 points. But I guess let's go straight to my team, have a look. So we've only had the three players play so far. We had Tavita Totola for South with a 37, slightly below his break even, but probably, about par what we expected. I'd like a bit more, but that's, it is what it is. Piakura with 4, so he's got a little slight update there, but unfortunately got a HIA very early in the game. We didn't see the end of him. Oh, sorry, we saw the end of him very quickly. So obviously not what we wanted, but as one of the most popular players in the game, it's not the biggest nightmare in the world. Just one of those unfortunate things that happens. And then I guess, the big win was Ben Travojevic. Again, pretty popular, so no real, step up on the competition here. But 72 points, including that try that he scored. Looks good on the left edge. Hopefully that's his spot to keep. They might try and, get Schuster in the middle. Although that could be more of a defensive liability. So, hopefully Benny can keep his spot and we'll ride the points and the cash all the way through the season. But we will have a look at the games and the teams. So obviously we can't see other players, but I'm interested to see who Chris has got. Timmy's caddy, 284 points is a cracking start. And generally with the SuperCoach reviews, we will go through the leagues, look at some teams. Guess given we've got essentially 60 teams across the three, can't promise I'll get through everyone, but we'll definitely try to showcase the players throughout the year. But I guess more importantly, we'll have a look at the scores from the two matches. So I guess this is probably, we won't do this as much during the round reviews. We'll look at our scores and some other players, maybe cherry pick a few of these, but we'll go through this in a little bit more detail, I guess, than we normally would, given that there's only two games so far. So Manly 36, Rabbitohs 24. So there was a bit of time there at the start of the second half where it looked like Latrell was just going to will the Rabbitohs to a win, but the Eagles ran over the top of them there at the end, so maybe a bit of fitness. I'm not 100% sure what went wrong there, but I guess Latrell top scoring with 110. He was super involved. Loves a big stage. So yeah, he was totally capable of this sort of score. I guess probably what we weren't considering, with the narrower field, we thought it might be a bit more of a defensive slog. But, just how dry it was, given that it's fully indoors. And I guess, Las Vegas would be one of the least humid places in the world. So, it was just perfect dry weather footy, like playing, I think, on a Sunday afternoon. So, which ironically they were here in Australia. So I guess, we probably could have looked a little bit more at these upside players, but definitely, we'll consider them going forward. So Latrell, we know about. Richie Kennar with 88, but also had some massive lapses in defence. So I'd suggest that he's probably almost a chance of getting chopped before Gagai. I guess they've got Isaac Thompson coming in. I think if he can play centre, they might slot him in the centres before they look at getting rid of Gagai. But then obviously Jack Whiten's not too far away as well. So Gagai got a try, 55 points. For bottom dollar, that's pretty good value. But it's just whether he's going to get to 3 games. If he does, he'll obviously be a trade in. We'll take the cash we can get, but we're not expecting a lot of cash or a lot of game time for him at this point. Damien Cook and Cam Murray were both good too. Solid scores. So if you had either of them, you're feeling pretty good about yourself. Sean Kepi with 41 off the bench. So I guess their middle rotation was pretty well as expected. I think the 2 starters got about 50, and then the 3 bench options, Burgess, Mawali, Host, got about 25 each. Although Host 25 was for Jai Arrow. So Havili getting a bit of time in the middle as well. So all in all, I think it's about what we expected. But yeah, for the Seagulls, Ruben Garrick was really good. Getting a try as well helped. Olaquatu getting a try, very nice. Tom Trbojevic, so 81 and sort of had 2 almost tries, I suppose. So that could have been anything. As a non-fan, I was cheering a bit when he didn't score, which is poor form. But I was sitting in my lounge room; he wouldn't have heard me anyway. So that's fine. And then Ben Trbojevic, like we already talked about, was awesome. Luke Brooks had some good touches as well. Did he score a try in the end? I can't remember. Yeah, he did. So I guess, that 59 is slightly elevated, so we're keeping that in mind. Dual position's nice, but I don't think the base is really there. Oops, lost the players. And then I guess Manly's forward rotation. The interesting point was Nathan Brown. He got 50 minutes off the bench, so pretty much came on, played right through, but only scored 28. So, PPM's pretty rubbish. So probably not worth considering. But I guess just the minutes were interesting. And then the Roosters and Broncos. So I guess the key takeaway from this is we don't really know what to expect from their rotation in the forwards, given that 3 of the second rowers went off injured. Obviously, Piakura at the start with the concussion, but also Tupanua and Wong both went off early in the second half, which I'm going to be honest, I didn't actually watch the second half. I had a big weekend, and it was nap time at halftime, and woke up to the sound of Matty Johns talking to the boys. So I didn't actually see the second half of this game, but reports where they both went off injured. So Wong with the 46 though in the 50 minutes or so he was on is really nice return. Tupanua less so, but he did have some good moments there in the first half. But if we go back up to the top, so top scorer in this game was Joey Manu. That he scored that try and then that ridiculous flick pass for the assist. So we know Manu's capable of that, and I guess imagine if he was playing at fullback, sort of deal. But Radley was good too, getting a try, which boosted his score. Tedesco was busy, which I guess we sort of predicted given the tighter constraints. And Terrell May, so he was in our team until early last week, and then saw the rotation on the bench and got a little bit scared. But he come out and was offloading and played the whole second half, so big minutes. So he's well rewarded for those who were brave enough to pick and stick with him. Minutes may have been slightly elevated given that they had to replace both second rowers, so Nat Butcher slid out, I'm assuming. And then I guess maybe White played on the edge, although he didn't play all that much time, so it could have been Radley maybe slid out. Again, I didn't see the second half, and probably not going to watch a replay if I'm being completely honest. So, he may have just played a few more minutes than he needed to. But in saying that, I did see Trent Robinson after the game said that, he was just feeling so good and so energetic that he didn't need a rest, so he didn't bring him off, and he just kept carting it up and offloading and doing the business. So definitely one on the radar. I guess if we get to round 3 and it looks like he's about to increase in price, we can, make the trade that we need to, whether it's through Totola, Flegler, or, or otherwise. But definitely one on the watch list. Sam Walker, had some nice touches too. Brandon Smith looked pretty good. So yeah, if you have him, you're probably not too disappointed. And then after that, sort of I guess Lenu. Um, I forgot his minutes. I think he played close to 40 minutes. So it's an okay return in terms of PPM. Not fantastic. Can probably do better. But remember, he is a bit cheaper as well at that 300k sort of price range. And for the Broncos, Reece Walsh, he was all over the park doing his thing. I think a bit like Latrell, the big stage brought out the best in him, which was really cool to see. Payne Haas just doing the business in the middle. Again, might have been affected by Carrigan having to shift out on the edge. But he can play those big minutes, so that's fine. Ricky was pretty good too with the 62. Arthur's with 60. I think that included a try, so nothing to get too excited about there. But you can see the break even at 26 means he will make a bit of money, which is nice if you've got him. But I don't think he's a must trade in if you don't. Jensen, pretty good with a 57. I don't know if that was all just base or what's going on there. 45 tackles. Holy tomorrow. Workhorse. So, yeah, I guess that was probably why they had him in the starting spot originally. Obviously, Marty Tapau come in and started, played 25 minutes, and then didn't see him again, I'm pretty sure. So, I'm not sure if there was an injury or just tactics. But Carrigan, 47, playing on the edge meant he probably wasn't doing as much work. So, take that or leave it. Mariner, 46 with the try, so that's nothing to get excited about. And I guess the same can be said for the rest. So I've got Ezra Mam in my draft league, so that's a bit flat. I've already got a replacement target lined up. I've just got to wait a whole week until he unlocks and I can trade him out. But I guess, is a pod option for a reason. And yeah, so that's how the first couple of games have shaped up. Obviously, it's 3 hours or 3 days, sorry, until the next game. So about 24 hours until the rest of the teams are named. But I don't think there's been any updates to the team. At the moment, there is going to be at least one change from this. We know it sounds like Bronson Sherry is probably not going to play. I think they're hoping Kiraz will be up to play, and he's going to play in the centres. Blake Wilson has earned that spot on the wing, which I can't begrudge. He has looked good every time I've seen him in a Dogs jersey. But it's, I guess, one less cheapie in our back line. So we may need to find some money somewhere, depending on what we get tomorrow. But yeah, no point stressing about that at this point. Yeah, like we could go through and have a look at just the scores, but I can't see any of the players until the end of the week. So 522 for Buck Bunnies. Guessing there's a few South players, including Latrell, in amongst all that. 483 for Morton Madness. So I think a few people loaded up early on the Vegas teams, and I think this looks like it's a pretty good tactic at the end of the day. Back to my matchups. Have a look at the others real quick. Second league. So 459. 611 for the Eagle Hawks and James. So that's massive. Yeah, so I guess, a lot of us thought that the Vegas games were going to be a bit dour and slow, but super dry track. Didn't matter how narrow the field was. And it looks like Castor Sea Eagles is top of the third league with 407 points. So it'll be interesting to see the teams. Like I said, we won't have time to cover all 60. There might be a few double ups in this league, to be fair. But we'll definitely feature a few of the top scorers and big winners and stuff like that to see how they've gone, because that's part of the fun of it, isn't it? So yeah, that's about it for this video. Obviously, if you've got any thoughts or comments, feel free to put them in this video below. You might notice I've gone with the headset. There's been a couple of issues with the microphone recently, although I think I found what the error was in the editing software or the recording software, more to the point. But yeah, some feedback on that would be great. But yeah, if you enjoy the SuperCoach content, remember to give the videos a like, subscribe for all the fantasy related content we've got. And other than that, I'll catch you in the next one.